New MCAT Cram, Biochemistry Flashcards. Card 3, Carrier Proteins, the Electron Transport Chain. Brought to you by memedicine. Identify the 3 electron carrier proteins embedded in the inner mitochondrial membrane as a part of the electron transport chain. I'll give you a moment to think of the 3 names of the embedded carrier proteins. Okay? All right. Okay, so the first carrier protein that we're going to identify is Nadh dehydrogenase. The second is the Bc1 complex. And the third is the cytochrome oxidase enzyme, okay? So let's start out by highlighting the Nadh dehydrogenase, sometimes called complex 1, also called NADH ubiquinone oxidoreductase, or like we just called it, NADH dehydrogenase, okay? It's an enzyme, of course. That's the type of protein that it is. It's in the enzyme category, as are all 3 integral membrane proteins that we're going to identify there. We'll discuss because we've already identified them. They're all proteins, okay? And what it does is it catalyzes the transfer of electrons from NADH. Okay, so here goes the electron. The yellow line represents electrons, okay? And it catalyzes the transport of electrons from NADH to coenzyme Q10. This is not an integral membrane enzyme, but it's a coenzyme, sometimes called ubiquinone, okay? And it's basically the entry protein for cellular level respiration or the electron transport chain. The next protein complex we're going to discuss is this one, the Bc1 complex. And again, it's an intrinsic membrane protein that catalyzes the oxidation, that's the loss of electrons. So you see the electron flow from ubiquinone or coenzyme Q10 to the Bc1 complex, okay? And it also catalyzes the reduction of cytochrome C in this electron transport chain, okay? So again, it synchronizes the catalyzation of the oxidation of ubiquihydroquinone, or ubiquinone as it's sometimes called, while simultaneously or synergistically catalyzing the reduction of cytochrome C. Okay, so that's why we see the electron flow from ubiquinone or ubihydroquinone to cytochrome C. And the last integral membrane protein that we're going to shed some light on is this one, cytochrome oxidase, as we can see here, okay? It's sometimes called complex 4. It's obviously a large transmembrane protein complex, and it's the last enzyme in the respiratory electron transport chain of the inner mitochondrial membrane, okay? What it does is it receives an electron from each of 4. So it would be 4 cytochrome C molecules, and what it then does is it transfers them, as shown here, to an oxygen molecule, converting molecular oxygen to 2 molecules of water, also pictured here, okay? So the electron flow reduces molecular oxygen to yield water. And in the process, it binds 4 protons. Okay. So this would have to be doubled again to show the binding of 4 protons. and from the inner aqueous phase to make water, okay? And in addition, it translocates 4 protons. So this would have to be 4 to be a correct molecular equation balanced, okay, across the membrane. And what it does is it helps to establish a transmembrane difference of proton electrochemical potential, or some people call it a proton gradient, that this ATP synthase will then use to synthesize ATP, but we're not discussing this yet, okay? All right, so that's that.